Hello everyone, I'm Beryllium7 and I'm here to teach you about a few bits and pieces of C++. Now, I'm just going to include CMath, which I'll tell you about in a second. Now, I've taught you some important concepts of C++. I've taught you about if statements and do loops and classes and variables and all kinds of fun things, and arrays and stuff like that. But now it's time for me to basically all of the main concepts I have already taught, so I'm just going to be teaching you a few bits and pieces that might be helpful for C++. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that I included CMath, as you can see. What CMath does is it allows you to use other fun math functions, such as square root. So if you wanted to take the square root of something, you could display square root of, for instance, 25. And once it compiles, as you can see, once more, it says 5, because that's the square root of 25. Okay, but it's crucial for fun math functions that you need to include CMath. Now there's another interesting thing that is very useful for C++. Randomness. Now, it's absolutely impossible to make something that is truly and perfectly random, but we can get darn close. I'm going to make the new function that I suggest you copy down or type in or something. I'm going to call it int random because it's going to have a random return value. I'm going to see out and 15. No. And its limit, and I'll just tell it to return rand modulo limit. Okay, now what does that mean exactly? Well, basically, modulo means take the remainder of this divided by this, which is kind of complicated for this algorithm, but just pay attention. Now, as you can see here, I have int limit and rand, which rand represents a random number that the computer generates, and modulo limit basically means, well, yeah, it's complicated. So ignore the algorithm for now, and just remember that if you have this rand with parentheses modulo limit, it will return a number that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, or 14. Remember, not 15. If you do this, then it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. An important thing to remember is that if you just use this algorithm, then it will return 0. So you might need to, if you want, to set up an if statement or something like that. Now, this isn't truly random, which I shall demonstrate. 11. Okay, 11. Just between 0 and 15. Looks adequate. And, what do you know? 11. Once again. So every time you run this executable, it's going to give you the same number. This is why some people might like to have a key. I'm going to declare a new variable outside of int main, which I will explain in a second. Okay, we're gonna have this is called a global variable, just so you know. It means that any function, anything whatsoever could have any function, any class, in main, anything has access to that key. Now, what will happen is the person will enter a key, which just a normal integer, which will help in the randomization process because technically keys are random. Just almost a random number. So that's an interesting algorithm. Now, this has another little bit that might become useful. CLS. System pause, system CLS. CLS will just clear the screen. It's pretty simple. Now, let's have a little bit more fun. System color 4. Now, you might be seeing a trend here. System parentheses quotes, blah blah blah. These are all batch file commands. So basically, basically you can say echo hello, and that's basically the same thing as echo hello in bash file, but just you might not know much about that. So for now, colorful. Now these are the 4 is one of the standard DOS colors, aka red. 4 is red. Remember that, makes it a little hard to see. 12 is a lighter red, probably around this color. Then you can have a lot of different fun. Experiment with some colors. Try letters too. That's also fun. And that's another little bit you can use. Another fun little bit, or piece of C++ that become useful, is this. I'll show you. Now we know that let's just make this a good variable. Now you know that plus plus means increment, right? And minus minus means subtraction. Well, guess what? We can also do something. Equals minus random 5 equals minus. C++ is cool, so it automatically assumes that if you this is the same thing as key equals key minus random 5 is the same thing as key equals minus random 5. Now that will save you a little bit of time. Yeah. So there are some little bits and pieces you can use with C++. That is not now. Basically, I'm going to slow down teaching anything new of C++. From now on, I'm going to be showing you some cool examples just to practice up. But essentially, you just have to remember that that is not all of C++. I will never ever, and I doubt you will ever learn all of C++ because it's a vast language and there's so much fun stuff to be experimented with. So look around, maybe want to do some research and find out more fun things you can do with C++. Be sure to subscribe to Beryllium 7. Live long and prosper, and thank you.